What's up, everybody? We're back again. It's the Dad Bod Golf Pod, episode 39. We're reeling it in on number 40. We're fired up and ready to go. We got Kyle, Nate, Ben, and a special guest, tour pro and former Auburn Tiger, Will Long. What's up, William? How's it going, man?
Doing awesome. How are you guys?
We're doing great. Will, we just kind of reached out to you last couple of weeks and kind of struck up a conversation and wanted to get you on here. You have some cool stories and an interesting journey to golf, and a really cool friend that we might like to be friends with too. But you have some awesome stories and stuff like that. So just wanted to kind of get you on the pod, man, and get you in the mix.
Yeah, this is the first time anyone's ever asked me to do a podcast, so I'm all in.
That's awesome. So what we'd like to do, just typically, kind of introduce our audience to you. So, the biggest thing, just tell us how you got into golf, like when you fell in love with it, your journey through like growing up, junior golf, this, that, and the other. And just kind of tell us more about who Will is.
Well, so I played all sports growing up as a kid, just like pretty much everybody did. And right around probably age 12, I'd say, I had a group of friends. I was a member at the country club, but I didn't play golf then. I mean, I played a little bit, but not like the other sports. And I kind of fell in love with it. I went down there one day and just caught the bug, and I've been playing ever since. I had an unbelievable group of people to play with at Gaston. Varner was one of them. There's probably 7 or 8 guys that played college golf that I grew up with, so it was crazy growing up. But yeah, that was my kind of how I got into golf.
That was Harold Varner, right? You're talking about. You
Harold Varner.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you're saying that like in high school, you were playing with like top level talent and you guys are 15, 16 years old and just having just death matches in the summertime.
Oh, yeah. That's how I got good at golf. Everybody was better. Everybody hit it further than me. That's how you get better. You play with people that are better than you. You kind of watch what they do and you just pick up on what they do and kind of implement it in your game.
Now, did you get the bug, whereas you said that even though a member of a country club, you didn't play a whole lot, and you said when you got the bug, was it one of those things where you had your parents drop you off like first thing in the morning and they didn't come back till dark and grab you, or?
Yeah, well, it kind of worked out. So I live probably half a mile from the country club, and I used to ride my bike to the country club to play golf.
Nice. Just charge your dad's account.
So you didn't even have to. Exactly.
I'd
run up his tab every month.
Run it up like $1,000 worth of chicken fingers and French fries.
Oh yeah, hot dogs, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
boy.
What about turkey wraps? Any turkey wraps in there? No, I'm just kidding.
He was 15 years old. He already knew better.
He was already a man before you, Kyle.
That's an inside joke.
Turkey wraps.
That's an inside joke, Will. I'm a big fan of turkey wraps. Anyway, so you grow up, you get the bug, you got played with a lot of great guys in high school, and then you go from high school to college at Auburn University. Tell us how that relationship started. Like, how did the recruitment go? How did you get your name out there? How did that whole thing work out?
So yeah, my swing coach growing up, his name's Bruce Sudreth. He just turned 80 years old actually, but he taught Nick Kleinert, my coach at Auburn. He taught Nick growing up, so we kind of had that relationship, that connection. So the recruiting process was pretty easy. But Auburn was the first school I visited, and it was the 2010 football season. And I got to go on the field. I saw Cam Newton on the field. It was unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
And that was the first experience I'd ever been at a college. And I knew then, I mean, nowhere is going to top that experience. So it was pretty easy for me to decide.
How many Auburn athletes have you heard that story from? Like they showed up in 2010 and all of a sudden they were like, yep, recruitment's over. Cam Newton's here. We win a national title. I'm all in. I'm good.
It's crazy. I don't think that place has been like that since him. I know it wasn't in my time. I mean, we went to a national championship, but he was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was great to watch.
There's a statue for a reason.
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure. That has to be. I had a buddy. It was a little bit lower level, but I had a buddy who signed with Troy, and Troy played Missouri on TV on like ESPN on like a Thursday one night. And it was it was only game on TV, and Troy wins. Troy beats Missouri. They tear the goalpost down, and he was on his official visit that weekend. And he's like, it made me just so fired up. And I committed right there. So there's such a big impact. There's like a huge impact that like it's kind of like all works together. Like if the other sports are good too, it helps, obviously going to help all the other ones in recruiting. So.
It's kind of unfair to other schools because that was my first visit and I was there probably in one of the best times in Auburn history, if not the best. So it was no other school could have compared to that experience.
Did you know Coach Kleinert before you went to visit, or you just knew him through your swing coach?
So yeah, I knew him through my swing coach. That's how I first met him, and he would come and watch me have some lessons early on. So that was huge in the recruiting process. He made it pretty easy.
I got a question back to your swing coach. Did Harold have the same? Did he have the same swing coach growing up? Were y'all coached by the same guy?
Yes, sir. So he's still coaching, and
yeah,
I forgot to mention another guy I grew up playing golf with. He plays on the Corn Ferry Tour now, Taylor Dixon.
Yeah.
So I had him and Harold to play with. They're two current pros.
So
he taught all of those guys.
One of the reasons I asked is because one of the first, I think it's the first Instagram video y'all have a very unique like kick through move, and I was like the first time when I saw you swing, I was like, dang, that looks like y'all's swings look so similar. Like you and Harold does it.
It's pretty fun. It's crazy. So pretty much everybody that takes from Bruce has a similar swing like that.
Yeah.
Not completely similar, but it's kind of like you can kind of see the same guy that's coaching that person.
For sure. I mean, it's like identical. So what is the theory behind that? What does that do? I might have to add this. I might get on YouTube.
I really don't even know I do it. It might be just from playing so much golf with Harold, but
yeah,
Bruce is all about rotation. That's pretty much all he coaches is rotation.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyle, if you will, wait till you were in the middle of the round with me and Nate before you start making those adjustments. We'd greatly appreciate it if you'd do that. You'd try it then.
Yeah, I'm thinking about just a whole swing overhaul. I may go see.
I like it.
He's pretty old school. He makes it. His lessons are real simple. It's none of that technical stuff. It's pretty easy.
That's what I need. I need easy thoughts.
Is that something you appreciate? Because I'm sure that now with all the experience you've had, you've seen other guys working with other people, and I mean they got computers out, and they've got. And at the end of the day, you hear some of the old school guys, the Jacks of the world, and the Gary Players of the world, and I mean I know even Tiger goes back to some of those where it's just like just swing the club, man. Like it.
Exactly.
Be an athlete. Yeah,
exactly. Why make it hard? It's already hard enough game, so why make it harder?
Yeah. Right. Good deal, man. So you go to Auburn, and this was, I feel like, I mean, y'all are obviously had a lot of success, but I kind of feel like y'all were sort of like the building blocks to kind of get the ball really like y'all helped build the golf team to where it is sort of like right now, as far as like the level it is right now. Y'all were like the first building blocks to kind of get the ball rolling at Auburn. Talk about that and, the success and stuff like that you guys have. You were like incredibly consistent. Like your stroke average was like within decimal points.
Yes.
Like you're just a steady dude for 4 years. Talk about that experience and kind of let us in behind the ropes, I guess, on college golf.
We had such a good group. It made it pretty easy to go to practice. We probably liked each other a little too much because when it came to qualifying, I mean, we had so much fun out there. But yeah, what would you say the second question? What was the second part of that question?
No, just talk about your experience and like the, I guess the success that you guys had and what it was like kind of, I guess, building, like getting the building part of it going with Nick.
Yeah. So I don't think there was a week where we weren't top 25 when I was there, which was pretty incredible. We made the national championship every single season I was there, which I think we had a streak. I think it just unfortunately ended. We had a streak of, I think, seven national championships in a row.
Right.
Where we made it, which it's hard enough to make it there. So that's a really good feat as it is. But yeah, we had an unbelievable group. It made it super easy to go to practice, and we just kept getting better, honestly. And we made it to the number one team in the country. I think that was my junior year fall season. But yeah, we were the number one team in the country at one point, which was unbelievable.
So you made a comment just a second ago. You were talking about you guys obviously very close. And then when you talked about qualifying, I mean, at that point, I mean, when you say qualifying, you're trying to beat the guys in your team for a spot, correct?
Oh,
so
absolutely.
Like, how does that dynamic change when that's more or less one of your best buddies and now you're trying to beat him for a place on the team? I mean, is there any awkwardness? Is there any tension after
I
after
mean,
it's
it's
qualifier, somebody misses a short putt to lose. I mean,
it's kind of awkward, but I mean, you just got to push that stuff to the side and take care of business. I mean, there's 5 spots for a reason, so you can't put your friends on the line when you're qualifying.
right.
Sure. So explain how how y'all actually do qualifying. Explain how that
So-
kind of works.
There was probably 10 different
Ways.
scenarios that coach put us through qualifying, but typically there'd be 2 exempt players, maybe 2 or 3, and that would just depended on prior tournaments or their whole season how they're playing. But yeah, they're typically we'd be playing for 2 or 3 spots. But sometimes coach would put he would make all spots available, so we'd qualify for 5 spots. It really just depended how coach was feeling. So it depended. It varied.
So is it mostly, I mean, is it like 18 holes or do you do kind of like match play 30? How's that
Yeah, what's the format?
typically
Yeah.
work?
It's always stroke play, but it's typically probably certain qualifiers were 6 rounds, but typically probably 3 to 4
3 to 4
qualifying
wow.
rounds.
Did y'all ever do things like I said, I went to Troy before I came to Auburn, and they would do things like they would play like you had to tee. They only had a 9-hole course. They would tee off. Everything had to be a 5-iron off the tee, and that was like one of the ways they caught. Did y'all ever do like crazy stuff like that, or was it just pretty much, get it and go and play?
It's pretty much stroke play every time in qualifying, but
Yeah.
they would switch up practice a lot. Like the practices varied every day. We'd always
Right.
have a new drill, or it just depended really.
Gotcha.
What were some of the favorite courses that you'd played when you were in college?
My favorite was the farm. That was the first term of the year. I always loved that place. And obviously we got to go to Augusta 2 times. Actually, I only got to go to once, but they extended it to the juniors and seniors. And of course, I was a senior, but I got to play Augusta
Oh wow.
when I was there, which is unbelievable. I mean, not many people can say that.
So we were actually having this discussion. Have you played Eastlake in Atlanta?
I have played
Okay.
Eastlake.
So give us a comparison, just difficulty wise in the course, Augusta versus Eastlake. We'll let somebody who's played both of them settle it.
It's completely opposite. Eastlake is so much tighter than Augusta. It's not even close, and it's just different grasses. So Eastlake, the rough is much thicker than Augusta, but
Right.
Augusta is a bigger golf course. Like it's longer, the elevation's much more drastic. But Eastlake, it's much tighter off the tee.
I gotcha.
So if you're so that kind of what didn't quite we're trying to settle an argument.
Yeah,
right?
give us a pick, Will.
You're having to be the mediator here.
Give us a
and,
pick.
if you had to, like, if they said
we're in
now,
arbitration right now, and
If
we got to
they-
see who's right and who's wrong.
We've played them both on Xbox. That's where we're coming from. So we
No,
need
not
somebody
all
who's
of
had
us. Some
boots
of
on
us
the
are
ground.
adults. We're not playing on Xbox. So no, not all of us.
if someone told you right now you have to go shoot under par at one of the 2 courses, which one do you choose?
Augusta, because I sprayed off the tee, and there's no chance I break par at Eastlake right now with those conditions.
Good
Yeah.
answer. Good answer.
That's kind of what that was my argument. I felt like Augusta, you could get it in play out there, and then
Yeah, exactly.
From whatever happens after that happens. I feel like it's like reversed. Like the tee shots at Eastlake are hard. Maybe the second shots aren't quite as tough as Augusta. In Augusta, the tee shots are a little bit easier. And the second shot, it's a second shot course anyway, trying to get it on the right tee or this, that, and the other. So there we go. I finally get a notch. I get a notch on my belt from at least one person.
No,
Congratulations.
It's not,
We know you
that's
texted
just-
Will before this.
Yeah,
and told
that's
him to
exactly.
say that.
You've been the one that's been in contact with Will. I'm not buying it. I don't know what all you give. Yeah, exactly.
Don't tell him, Will. Don't tell him we talked about it.
If I
Is
drove
that-
it straight off the tee, I'd probably pick Eastlake, but that's the worst
Right.
part of my game easily. Then
Well, Kyle would probably pick Augusta
Yeah,
too because
I
he
would
didn't
pick
straight off the tee.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I will say this from watching it this weekend is 4, because camera never does it justice. Is 4 as intimidating with those 2 trees having to hit the field goal, or is 18 the more at Augusta the more intimidating?
Augusta,
shot?
the second shot or the tee shot,
The tee shot.
18, not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have
Yeah,
to hit a
there's
cut off
something.
that tee. There's no if, and, or buts about it. If you start it anywhere right, it's hitting the tree. So you have to hit a cut, and it's a shoot for sure.
For sure. There's also another hole. Is it 8 where it's water all the way left and it's a real tight fairway, and then you have bunkers, or is that 6 at East Lake where it's
East Lake.
there's literally
gosh.
nowhere to hit it. There's literally nowhere to hit the ball. Is it
I feel like there's a couple holes like that. It's been probably 2 years since I played there.
Yeah.
I really don't remember.
I got you. Cool. So you finish at Auburn, and tell us kind of what you're doing now. Like what's the process, what you're going through right now, and tell us about what's going on right after Auburn up until like what you're doing now.
Yep. So I don't know if you guys knew, I don't play professional golf anymore. I've been out of the game since November. But
Okay.
I'll talk about the mini tour.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally different from college golf. It's much lonelier. It's a grind for sure. You got to be. It's not. I mean, I wouldn't call it. Excuse me. It's much more tough life for sure out there.
I mean, we've talked about it. I mean, you got guys that are renting U-Haul vans to go to places.
Oh yeah,
and you're
Guys will
by
do
yourself.
whatever.
As it kind of woke me up one time. I was talking to Gabe Gross, who played baseball at Auburn and then went on to the pros, and I saw him in a gym here locally in Auburn working out. And so I'd known him before just from doing media stuff. And I said, you don't have a facility to go to? He said, no, man. He said, they kick you out at the end of the season. This is all on your own. He said, I got to show up at camp whenever spring rolls around. Everything is on me. There's no coach. There's no, unless you're rich and you got a personal trainer that can follow you around. But I don't think many tour players have got that.
Most guys have a small group of friends. I had a few guys that I hung out with, but typically it's pretty lonely. I mean, everybody's trying to scratch and claw and do whatever they can to get the next level. And that requires not really being friendly. I mean, most people are friendly out there, but it's much more lonely. It's not a team atmosphere like college.
So I saw you a couple of times out there, obviously being a Clark guy, but we really met. You were in the Monday qualifier group with Daniel Chopra and Duffy Waldorf for the Barbasol. I think you had just graduated, and I was caddying for Chopra. And that was I think you had graduated in May, and that was July. So you had
first qualifier as a pro, I believe.
So I guess you're doing everything. You're doing Monday qualifiers. You're doing mini tour events. I mean, it just seems like as soon as you get done with something, you're in the car headed to the next thing. Like there's no downtime. There's no free time.
There's not much. It's a lot of time in the car.
I hear you.
Will, do you I saw a picture on your Instagram. I think it's the second one. It looks like you possibly have you caddied much at all?
Yeah, so I've caddied twice for Taylor Dixon, that guy I mentioned on the Corn Ferry. I did those 2 events in the Bahamas. Not this year, but last year. Yeah, that was real tough. Unbelievable. And I caddied for Varner in the Farmers Insurance this past January. And I'm supposed to caddy for him next week too, or 2 weeks from now in Napa.
Oh, sweet. Had you so the Farmers is obviously at Torrey Pines.
Yeah.
How much I know you weren't there for the US Open, but like how much is that's the South course that they play the Open at? Is that correct?
The South. That's how much the Open course.
Yeah, how much can you tell from when you were there to watching it on TV, like how much different it really was? Like is there much that you could tell as far as like how much? Yeah.
It's kind of 2 different times a year. So that time of year, it's humid and rainy. So it's a lot softer. The ball don't really go that far. The air is real damp. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's totally different. It played a lot more firm this year, but the rough was still extremely thick in January just because of how the weather was.
Yeah. Awesome. I want to kind of dive into this Harold Varner relationship because he kind of threw you under the bus recently. And I think you deserve the right to defend yourself. So for those that don't know, this is just incredible to even think about that this situation even happened. I mean,
it was 2 weeks. That was just unbelievable. I'll lead up to, I'll talk about it as we lead into it.
Yeah. So Harold Varner goes on the Subpar podcast with it's Colt Knost and the other guy. I can't think. He's a caddy. I can't think of his name at the moment, but
Steve, is that right? No, I may not be right.
And they're talking with Harold, and Harold talks about a time where they played golf with Michael Jordan. And where was it, Will?
It was at the Grove, at MJ's course.
MJ's course, which is where?
It's in Jupiter, Florida.
Florida.
It's off the road. It's probably 2 or 3 miles off the road.
Is that where they do the airstrikes, the drones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's,
Okay.
It's unbelievable.
So Harold goes on this podcast talking about Michael Jordan, and he just throws our boy Will completely under the bus. He just basically said Will just kind of got so nervous and couldn't play. And I mean, I was just like, man, he is just really he's really throwing Will under the bus. So
man, it's in front of MJ.
I mean, I get it, but I mean, I feel like it might have been exaggerated a little bit.
There's some details left out for sure.
Yeah.
So let's clear it up right now, Will.
This is Will's opportunity to
defend himself,
clear the story, and set the record straight about his match or round with Michael Jordan. So,
and if there's any details about Harold's game that day that you'd like to share, feel free to do that.
Yeah, the mic is yours, sir.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's crazy how I even got down there, but I was not expecting. We weren't even expecting to play that day. So it's a long story, but I'll just talk about that day.
No, go tell the whole story.
Yeah. We're not on a time limit here.
No,
so we want to hear the whole
plenty,
thing.
We got plenty.
We don't get a chance to hear a lot of MJ stories, especially involving Auburn golfers and how they've been thrown under the bus by a buddy of theirs. And
it's on tour.
You get full.
This is going to take 5 minutes at least to get to that part. So
okay,
bear with
me. Fine with that. Yes.
We're good. Roll.
All right. So that was like right when I finished playing golf. So I was kind of done playing. And he had just got done playing. I can't remember where it was. It was somewhere. He flew in on a Sunday night, and it was the QBE shootout that week at the QBE shootout where they play the team event.
Yeah.
And it was when they were still testing for COVID. So it was Sunday night, and he had to be in. It was, where was it? All the way down in the South Florida. I can't remember the town, but for the QBE shootout, he had to be there for the COVID test, or he'd miss out on that. It was a big purse. There was only 20 teams playing, so last place was guaranteed like a ton of money. So
right,
he needed a way to get down there, and there was no flights. So he texted me. I didn't have a job or nothing. I was still kind of deciding what I was going to do. So he texted me. He's like, I need you to drive me down there. So I drove him through the night on Sunday night, in the middle of the night. He slept in the passenger seat. I got him to the course, and I wasn't even planning on staying that week, but it ended up happening. So I just stayed the weekend, hung out, and just went to that tournament for a week. But anyway, after that tournament was over, the deal was I had to drive this U-Haul back from Jacksonville because he was moving out of Jacksonville at the time. So we were all the way, I think it was, I can't remember the town, but it was West Florida. So we had to go across the state, and he had a meeting with Gary Player that morning in Jupiter. So we get to Jupiter that morning right after the tournament, and he has this meeting, and I just go and get some food or whatever and wait on him to get done. It was in the morning, and when he gets done, he's like, "We're gonna go to the Grove and get lunch to the golf course." And I hadn't hit a golf ball in a week, so we pull up to the Grove, pull up to the pro shop, and it was crazy. He had just signed his deal with Jordan Brand that day. He just re-signed it, his new deal. So we pull up, and the pro's like, "The boss wants to see you." So we get in the cart.
Do you know what that mean? Do you know what that meant?
Yeah, I knew exactly what it meant. His Ferrari is sitting out in front of the pro shop, so you can see it.
Golly.
And he sends us out there in a golf cart, and we pull up on 16, and you could see him. Obviously, you can't miss his presence. But he was playing with Justin Thomas and Ricky Fowler and 2 other guys, I think. And he started talking. He talks a lot of junk. He started talking junk instantly to Varner. He's like, "You got your clubs?" He's like, "I know you got money. So I just paid you today."
Paid you today.
He's like, we're about to make the turn. And he said, "Go grab your clubs." And I was wearing an Under Armour shirt, and he's already talking junk. He's like, "You gonna wear Under Armour in my golf course?" I'm shaking in my boots already. We go get our clubs, and I hadn't even get the chance to warm up. So I'm on the tee. I hadn't hit a golf ball in over a week. No swings. Ricky and Justin are sitting there, and Michael. And I had to play in front of that. So that was fun. But the first hole went easy. I played the first hole pretty easy. He didn't say anything on the first hole. And he pulls his golf cart. You can drive everywhere on that golf course. So he pulls his golf cart up on the tee box, just staring at everybody. And he looks at me. He's like, "How many shots Harold give you?" And Harold's like, "None." I have to give him 8 shots. and he's
Oh,
like, "There's
man.
no free rollers at my place." So I had to. As soon as he said that, I don't know what happened. I just blanked out mentally. It was crazy, I guess. But
Between
Harold
that-
said I chunked it way short. He said I hit it like 30 yards. That's
Yeah.
over exaggerated.
Yeah. He
I
said you
did
had
chunk
80,
it, but it was like
Yeah.
barely short of the green. But that was the craziest day of golf I've ever had.
So when
did
he
you-
said there's no freeloaders, he was like, "We're about to play for 1,000 a hole." I mean, was that basically what he? What
Oh,
he
we
was
just played
implying,
for
or-
$100. So I didn't have any money on me, so I was like, that's what we did.
So did you play a full 18?
Oh yeah, we played 18. We played, I think, 6 guys.
Yeah.
It was 3 other guys. It was just his buddies, but we played a 6-some, and everybody has their own cart. We probably played 3 hours.
So you
So
had to
I
give
didn't even have time to take the situation in. It was just, you play so fast, it's crazy.
so you had to give Michael Jordan 8 strokes.
Oh yeah, all the
On
on
his-
on a
on his
course
own course.
course that he's a
Mhm.
scratch on.
Yep.
Like
Sure
he's
did.
probably a +1 or 2 on that course.
He's listed as a 3, but he was better than that. He impressed me for sure.
So
So
Did
you
you
had just
have to-
driven him. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, he's gonna no. Go ahead, dude. Go ahead.
You had just driven Harold through the night, helped him move out, and then he just leaves you hanging out to dry on the stroke situation with Michael Jordan.
Well, I hadn't got to Jacksonville yet to
Okay.
drive the
okay.
U-Haul. That was the next thing. I didn't even know we were gonna play golf that day. It was just I was in gym shorts and a Auburn golf t-shirt.
Did you even have?
That's
did you even
awesome.
have your clubs, or did you have to hit?
I did have my clubs.
Oh,
thank God. 'Cause
Thank God. Yeah.
I don't know what made me bring them, but I did have my clubs, thankfully.
So the question is, does Michael Jordan have $100 of your money, or did you get $100 from him?
He sure does have my money.
Oh, man.
The man made 2 birdies from the same tee as me, and it was blowing probably 30 miles an hour from the back tees. And that course is not easy.
Yeah. What did he
Yeah.
shoot? Do you remember what he shot?
I don't really know what he shot. He probably shot 3 or 4 over, I guess. So I'd had to shoot like 66 to beat him.
Yeah.
And he plays the same tees as you got. Like
Oh
did
yeah.
y'all play the same tees? I find it
There's-
funny because everybody that tells a story about playing with Michael Jordan at his course, nobody wins.
I don't think
Like nobody wins.
There's
Yeah.
probably 100 different tee boxes out there, and they set it up differently every day based off the wind and
Yeah.
what he wants to hit into the green. So it's set up in his favor, no doubt, for sure.
that
Does he
is
still play 36 a day? Because that's what his thing is. He says he plays
No,
36.
when he's
a day.
playing golf, he's playing 36 for sure.
Wow.
Did they have the drones then, or was that?
They did have the drones, yeah, but we didn't get any. I mean, we didn't have time. It was crazy. It was so fast paced.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if is there how would anybody even get out there? Like, is there any way? I mean, you have to. I guess you just have to go with a member if they even allow.
You have to know somebody or get invited. But there's 2 gates that you got to go through. So there's no way you could sneak in.
There's no just driving by to take a peek.
No, it's in Florida, and it's like 2 or 3 miles off the main road, and it's like marsh and farmland. So you're not sneaking out there.
I got a funny. This is it's kind of along the same lines, but it's about Augusta. So an uncle of my uncle is driving through Augusta, and he's like, I'm just gonna just pull down and drive the driveway and see if I can just turn around. And if you've ever been there, it's like a 6-lane highway. It's not just it's just a side road that you can. There's cars everywhere. So he just pulls in. Obviously, they stop him. And he goes, I made a wrong turn. I'm just going to go up here and turn around. And he goes, no, sir, what you're going to do is you're going to back right back out in that highway. Right? So there's no, it's just like the Groves. There's no way that it's kind of
There's
the
no
same
way
deal.
you could sneak out there.
Wow. So
As
you,
far as,
Challenge accepted.
straightaway drive, and Michael has this crazy Ferrari, and he just drives it. He just floors it every time out of there, and he drives around with signed basketballs. So whenever he gets pulled over, he just hands the cop a basketball, and they don't say a word. I was like, what are you
That
gonna
is-
say to that?
yeah,
These
what are you going to
stories keep
say?
You're gonna
getting
give
better,
that guy
man.
a ticket when he gives you a basketball with his signature on it?
It's worth
Awesome.
at least $1,000. Or if
Oh,
not
easily.
more.
He could take that to eBay and get $2,500 right away.
We probably
Oh yeah,
just,
it's sickening that kind of money that he deals with.
we might have got some cops in Jupiter, Florida in trouble just now. So we got to be careful. We got to be careful with that.
What if you already got one? You pull them over and you're like, sorry, I already got a basketball. What else you got in there?
What else you got in there?
Well, his car's pretty distinguishable, so that, I mean, he doesn't. They already know who it is.
Yeah,
before
they know who
pulling
they're
him
pulling over. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they probably got meetings in the morning. It's like, hey, this car, just don't bother with it.
Don't even
anymore.
mess with it.
Not
No,
today,
At
no.
no point.
He's generating so much revenue for Jupiter, Florida. Everybody just shut
For
up,
sure,
leave
that's
him
true.
alone, and let him go.
Dude, there's some like Jupiter is like the place to be. It seems like is that where Medalist is as well, where Tiger plays?
I believe so. Yeah, that's the place to go for golf for sure. There's probably 30 tour pros down there.
for sure. Can you play? You
Wow.
can play year round basically. Like you don't have
Yeah.
to. You don't ever have to go in.
You also get a lot of wind down there, which is awesome to play in. So
Play-
you always got tough conditions, and it's typically pretty sunny and pretty warm. So you always get to have some time to play down there.
What an experience.
That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
If
It's
you had to
crazy.
lose $100, I'd much rather lose $100 to Michael Jordan than like Nate or Ben. So
Oh,
Yeah,
he was
I bet-
pretty adamant on pay it. I didn't have any money on me, so I was like, "I'm about to spend a bunch of money in your pro shop." He's like, "I don't care." So I had to borrow $100
fork
bill
it
from
out.
somebody and Venmo him. So
that is
was awesome.
hilarious. That is hilarious. You got tour
See,
as
pros.
soon as I gave him that money, though, he looked at me. He's like, "You're always welcome back."
Oh, that's big.
Charles Barkley has always said the two cheapest guys he knows are Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan. And hearing this story lets me believe it even
Oh man,
more.
the documentary.
That he's picking on a guy he doesn't even know, and he's
Oh.
making him give $100.
Oh, the
And he's
docu-
out there in shorts and a t-shirt that he got forced to play.
I realized he's the greatest of all time within 2 holes of playing golf with him. Just
yeah.
the way he carries himself, and
for sure.
he's betting on putts. He's talking shit. He's like, I can't even say some of the words on here, but he's talking, and he's backing up too. It's like he's shooting a basketball. It's unbelievable. He's rolling in 20 footers, and it's unreal.
That's just like that documentary where he was like rolling dice or flipping quarters or something with like
Yeah.
the security guards, and they're like, "You got to pay." He's like, "You got to pay me." And like these dudes are
Yeah.
making like $10 an hour,
Yes.
and he's taking them. He's taking them for like 70, $100. That's just
He's the
crazy.
ultimate competitor. He's willing to game like that for $100. I mean, that's nothing to that man. So
Yeah,
Well-
Kyle, you'd rather lose it to a guy who would just as soon light that $100 bill on fire, or versus me or Ben who have mortgages and car payments and
100%.
Ben's
Yeah,
got to buy
thanks a
like
lot, Kyle.
diapers.
Yeah.
100%. I would probably just give Michael Jordan $100 just to give him $100, just to say I gave Michael Jordan $100.
Yeah.
At least go give him 8 strokes. So you like, I had to give Michael Jordan 8
I-
strokes.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
believe-
there you go.
That's how
I
I
can't
lost
believe you
100.
got screwed on the whole strokes thing, man. That
Yeah, Harold-
and he
Harold.
does that to everybody.
Harold-
He beats Fowler and all those guys on a regular basis because that, I mean, if he
Still, the
shoots
fact that
three over par from the same tee as you, and that golf course is no joke.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to career it to beat him.
but the fact
Press
that
your way out of
Varner,
it.
but the fact that Varner threw you and he's like, no, I don't give him strokes. Like you should have made him pay the $100. You should have said that's on you, bud. You're
I could care less in the day, man. If that was the fee to play with Michael
I was
Jordan,
gonna say
It's
you got
pretty
cheap.
you got to play
It's pretty cheap.
in Jupiter with MJ and Ricky for $100.
yeah,
amazing.
That's
It's
not a bad
crazy.
day.
Crazy day. I could care less that Ricky and Justin were sitting there. I could care less.
Who are you guys?
I've never been
Like,
starstruck by a human like that. It's
Yeah.
unreal.
That's so awesome, man. Will, dude, this has been awesome. I feel like you came in, you defended yourself, and it didn't sound nearly as bad as Harold made it seem on the Subpar podcast. So I commend you for standing up for yourself.
That's right.
And you went toe to toe with Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player, possibly the greatest athlete of all time.
Yeah,
And-
greatest athlete of
Yes,
all
for
time.
sure.
And what a freaking experience and a story that you can tell for like the next, well, I guess forever. You can tell it forever.
We'll make sure we tag HV3 in this too and let him know. Hey,
Yeah.
Let him know.
yeah,
Let him know your boy.
You can't go telling lies on people thinking you can get away with it. There's
Exactly.
more to the
It's
story.
somewhat accurate, I guess, but yeah, he did over exaggerate it, I guess, a touch. But
I mean, it made it sound like you just cold topped one off the tee box, like didn't even make it to the next tee box.
Yeah.
I did lay the sod a little bit, but it wasn't.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Well, dude, Will, stay in touch with us, man. And
Yeah, man.
we'll love to talk again soon. And good luck to whatever you're doing now. And we will hopefully, like I said, hear from you soon, man.
For sure. It was fun, guys.
If
All
you
right,
need any
dude.
playing partners down in Jupiter, you let us know. We'll be more than happy to drive down
if-
there. We'll drive through the
Yeah.
night too, and we'll give him
Oh,
$100.
I wish I was down there. It'd be awesome.
And if
We'll
you
give
get
him $100 to go play too. We don't mind that.
and if you get back into the game, man, you need a caddy. I do have a
Yes.
top 15 finish as a tour caddy. So I'm just
Yeah.
I want to throw that out
on
there.
the
as
Forme
well.
tour. Yeah,
On the
you've actually
Forme-
seen me caddy in action. I don't know how I did, but I mean,
Yeah.
you have
I
seen
did.
that. So
I did have a top 15 finish at the Forum Tour. So I'm just I'm just going to make sure everybody knows that. So anyway,
Love
too
it.
much walking for me. I'm not doing it.
all right, dude. Thanks.
Love
We'll
it.
catch you next time.
Enjoyed it, guys. It was fun.
All right.
thanks,
bye.
Will.
Y'all be good.